Jesus agrees to betray Jesus.
Oh,
Or
Judas.
Judas.
Yes.
I guess in a
Betrayal.
way it is Jesus does agree to betray Jesus because Jesus does let Judas in.
Right. It's true. It's truer than you maybe that should have been the title. Yes. And this is Matthew 26, starting at 14.
Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and said, "What are you willing to give me if I deliver him to you?" And they counted out to him 30 pieces of silver. So from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. Damn.
Oh, I know.
So then he was looking for things because he didn't have a plan.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But they're probably looking for a time that he wouldn't be with crowds of people because they didn't want to cause a uproar, right?
Well, they didn't say like, hey, if you get caught, you're not gonna go to jail.
Right. We don't really know the conversations.
And we can't control a multitude of people. I'm sure this is what they would say, but
Right. So you got to find a good time for us to grab them that people aren't going to be around him, maybe.
so Jesus celebrates Passover with his disciples.
Okay.
Now, on the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying to him, "Where do you want us to prepare for you to eat the Passover?" Where are we going to stay?
I
And
know.
he's,
Well,
what are
like
they going to say?
where we're gonna eat it, right? Where we're
Right?
gonna have our
Passover.
right.
And he said, "Go into the city to a certain man and say to him, 'The teacher says, my time is at hand, and I will keep the Passover at your house with my disciples.'" So the
Mm.
disciples did as Jesus had directed him, and they prepared the Passover. So he just commandeered somebody's house.
I commandeered someone's house. Yes.
I guess
Yes.
it was necessary.
Right. I mean, maybe
I mean,
it
the
was
guy
he.
probably already
Right.
knew.
Maybe, right? You know what I mean?
I'm sure we'll get another
Right.
explanation.
Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, but it seems like, the person didn't mind, right? And it's
Yeah,
only for the night. It sounds like, only for the evening or whenever, maybe even it's only for the evening. I'm not sure.
right. When the evening had come, he sat down with the 12. Now, as they were eating, he said, "Assuredly, I say to you, one of you will betray me." So he said it right at the table.
Right in front of everyone, right?
Yee.
I mean, the 12. He's with the
And
12.
how are they to take that? How would you expect that they would take that, knowing we know about how they react to things?
Right. That is true. And I mean, he's been warning them that he's going to die, but he never said about betraying first until now, right? I don't think he did, at least.
Right,
So here is something new, yeah. And so
right.
let's see. Let's see how they react.
Yeah, because then they're all like, "No, you're not gonna die." So they're like, but now he's like, "One of you is gonna betray me."
Yeah. So now they probably have gotten that part a little bit. Not they know not to argue when he says that.
Right, and then they were exceedingly sorrowful, and each of them began to say to him, "Lord, is it I?" As if you were going to be like taken over or given the choice, and you just wouldn't be able to choose.
I mean, in one thing, it did sound like Satan entered Judas. I
I guess
thought
the
it said,
point is you should just always be able to do the right thing, and you shouldn't worry about, is it going to be me? You should know that it's not going to be you.
but do we know?
Yes, you should know.
I mean,
But
can we
maybe
do?
Judas had to be Judas And Judas knowingly. But I
Mm,
guess if we're talking about you and I would know. You would know. You think you
mm.
could be unknowingly part of somebody else's demise, which I think is possible.
I think that's possible, yes.
So they were worried about it in that aspect.
I think so, yes. Yes. So in Luke, let me look at this up quick. Yes, I think that they probably seen enough to know that it was, you know.
Right.
13, let me see. Give me 1 second. I don't want to make everybody look somewhere that nothing's here. Sorry, everybody. But it is interesting, isn't it? I should let you read. I'm sorry about taking up your time.
What are you talking about?
22, I mean, the people's time, I guess, you know. I don't want to take up your time.
Taking
Oh,
up
yeah. So in Luke
everybody's.
22, it says in verse 3, well, okay, so let me just read 22 in the beginning. It says, now the feast of unleavened bread drew near, which is called the Passover, and the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might kill him, for they feared the people. Then Satan entered Judas, surname Iscariot, who was numbered among the 12. So he went his way and conferred with the chief priests and captains that he might betray them to them. Where it kind of feels like it's out of his, doesn't it?
Out of his control.
Or was he doing the wrong thing that it was easy?
Right,
Right.
circumstantially. But like,
You know, right. We only know what it says here, you know, in a way. And this is from Luke. So Luke is
I think he's
mm,
maybe asking you to have a little more foresight.
mm, mm.
But then
So no,
again,
keeping our eyes on Jesus so we know him well, you know.
somebody has to be Judas, I guess.
I know.
Somebody had to.
I mean, right, because they knew that he was. I mean, maybe Jesus knew that when he picked Judas, you know. I mean, nobody else knew it, but I'm sure Jesus knew it.
Yeah.
And so what verse were you in? Let's see. Oh yes. So there we are on 22, right? They were
And they were exceedingly sorrowful. And each of them began to say to him, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, he who dipped his hand with me in a dish will betray me. The Son of Man indeed goes just as it is written of him. But woe to the man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It has been good for the man if he had not been born. Then
yeah.
Judas, who was betraying him, answered and said, Rabbi, is it I? And he said to him, you have said it. He who have dealt it, or has said it, has dealt
Wow.
it.
Wow. Right.
So he just says to him there,
I know. And maybe the other people weren't paying attention, you know.
uh,
You know, it's hard to know, right?
it is. Because
Wow.
the
Is
next
that
thing
the
is Jesus institutes the Lord's Supper.
okay? Yeah. Oh, this is a really long chapter, isn't it?
It is a very long chapter.
75
Ooh.
verses.
Ooh.
Yeah. Wow. But it is the Last Supper. It's an important one, isn't it?
It's a very short one.
Maybe stuff to ponder until.
Until next time, yes.
Yes. God bless you. Peace be with you.
Peace be with you.